Here's something nobody tells you when you hit 50. The one thing you've been doing your entire life, drinking plain water, might actually be working against your circulation. Not because water is bad, water is life. But after 50, your body processes it completely differently. And drinking it the wrong way is like trying to fill a cracked bucket. You keep pouring, but nothing stays where it needs to be. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your water glass the same way again, and your blood vessels will thank you for it. Before anything else, let me tell you what this is not about. This is not about some $80 supplement. It's not a powder, not a pill, and definitely not something your doctor is going to roll their eyes at. It's one simple ingredient, something most of you already have sitting in your kitchen right now, that, when added to your daily water, has been shown in multiple peer-reviewed studies to noticeably improve blood flow, oxygen delivery, and arterial flexibility in people over 50. Now I'm going to get to that ingredient. But first, you need to understand why your body is quietly struggling with circulation as you age, because once you understand the problem, the solution will make so much more sense. And trust me, this part is actually fascinating. Here's what's really going on inside your arteries after 50, and it's a little unsettling. By the time most people reach their 50s, a key molecule in the body called nitric oxide starts dropping, and it drops hard. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that nitric oxide production can decline by up to 50% between the ages of 40 and 70. 50%, that's not a minor dip. That's your body essentially losing half of its most important traffic controller. Now, what does nitric oxide actually do? Think of it this way. Your arteries are not rigid pipes. They're flexible muscular tubes that expand and contract depending on how much blood flow is needed. Nitric oxide is what signals those tubes to relax and widen. Without it, your vessels stay stiff and narrow. Your heart has to work harder. Blood pressure creeps up. Oxygen delivery to your brain, your muscles, your organs, all of it slows down. And you feel it. You feel it as fatigue, brain fog, cold hands and feet. That I used to have so much energy feeling that nobody really explains to you. But here's the part that genuinely surprised me when I first read it. Your hydration habits are directly connected to how much nitric oxide your body produces. Not just how much water you drink, how you drink it, what's in it, and when you drink it. Plain water alone, especially after 50, does not give your body the raw materials it needs to produce nitric oxide efficiently. It hydrates you, yes, but it doesn't activate anything. And this is exactly why researchers started paying attention to what happens when you add specific compounds to water, because the results were genuinely impressive. Let's talk about something called blood viscosity. It's just a fancy way of saying how thick your blood is. After 50, blood naturally becomes slightly more viscous. Red blood cells don't glide through vessels as easily. Capillaries, those tiny little vessels that deliver oxygen to your tissues, start to get sluggish. And most people don't realize this is happening until they feel the symptoms. Here's a number worth knowing. A study from clinical hemorrheology and microcirculation found that even mild dehydration, not dramatic thirst, just mild, increases blood viscosity significantly in older adults. And because the thirst mechanism becomes less sharp after 50, a huge number of seniors are chronically, quietly, mildly dehydrated. Their doctors check for everything else. Nobody checks for this. Plain water does help. Absolutely. But here's the catch that most people miss. After 50, your kidneys also become less efficient at retaining electrolytes. So when you drink a large glass of plain water, a portion of it, especially if you drink it fast, essentially flushes through your system, taking electrolytes with it instead of absorbing properly into your cells. You drink, you think you're hydrated, but at the cellular level, your tissues are still running dry. This is not a flaw in water. This is just biology. And once you understand it, the solution becomes obvious. All right, here it is. The trick is dietary nitrates from beetroot, and not specifically drinking water, enhanced with a small amount of beetroot juice or concentrated beet powder, combined with a pinch of natural mineral salt. That's it. That's the whole thing. Simple enough to feel almost too simple. Backed by enough research to fill a textbook. Let me explain how this works because the mechanism is genuinely cool. Beetroot is one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates on the planet. When you consume those nitrates, your body, through a process involving your saliva and gut bacteria, converts them into nitric oxide, the same nitric oxide your arteries desperately need after 50. It's essentially handing your vascular system the fuel it's been running low on. A landmark study from the British Journal of Nutrition had older adults drink a small glass of beet juice daily for just 2 weeks. The results? Measurable reductions in systolic blood pressure, improved vessel elasticity, and significantly better blood flow to the muscles and extremities. And these were people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, not young athletes, regular people. But the reason water is the vehicle, rather than just eating beets, is absorption speed and consistency. When dietary nitrates are dissolved in liquid and consumed throughout the day, they absorb steadily and keep nitric oxide levels more stable than a single meal would. Your arteries get a sustained signal to stay open, rather than a quick burst that fades. Now, the pinch of mineral salt. This part is important and often skipped over. Natural mineral salts, Himalayan pink salt, Celtic sea salt, contain trace minerals including magnesium and potassium that work directly alongside nitric oxide to keep blood vessels supple. A 2019 study in Nutrients confirmed that magnesium deficiency, which is extremely common in adults over 50, directly impairs nitric oxide production. So if you're eating beets but ignoring your mineral intake, you're working with one hand tied behind your back. Together, these two additions turn your ordinary glass of water into something your cardiovascular system can actually use. This does not need to be complicated, and that's the whole point. In the morning, before anything else, mix 8 to 12 ounces of water with 1 tablespoon of high-quality beetroot juice, the kind with no added sugar, just beets, or a half teaspoon of pure beetroot powder. Add a small pinch, a genuinely small one, of Himalayan or Celtic sea salt. Not a spoonful, a pinch. Stir it, drink it slowly over about 5 minutes, and that's your morning ritual. Sipping slowly matters. When you gulp a large amount of water quickly, your kidneys flag it as excess fluid and start filtering aggressively. When you sip, absorption through the intestinal lining is more efficient, and the nitrates reach your bloodstream at a steadier rate. Researchers at the University of Exeter, whose nitric oxide work is widely cited in sports and aging science, found that the conversion of dietary nitrates to active nitric oxide peaks around 60 to 90 minutes after consumption. So your morning glass is essentially a slow release mechanism for better blood flow through the first half of your day. For the rest of your daily water intake, keep a small pinch of mineral salt in at least one other glass during the day, especially if you're drinking tap or filtered water, which has had most of its natural minerals removed. You don't want to oversalt anything. You're not seasoning a meal. You're just restoring what the filtration process took out. One important note: if you're on blood pressure medication or blood thinners, mention this to your doctor before starting. Not because it's dangerous. Beetroot has an excellent safety record, but because it genuinely lowers blood pressure. And if you're already medicated, it's smart to have someone monitor the interaction. That's just common sense, not fear. Here's what makes this worth talking about. In a randomized controlled trial from Hypertension, one of the most respected cardiovascular journals, participants who consumed dietary nitrate-rich water daily for 4 weeks showed an average reduction in systolic blood pressure of around 8 mmHg or Hg. To put that in perspective, that is comparable to the effect of some pharmaceutical blood pressure medications from water with beetroot in it. People who consistently do this also report changes that don't show up on a blood pressure cuff but feel very real. Less foot coldness, fewer headaches, better energy in the afternoons, sharper thinking. These aren't dramatic overnight transformations. They're the kind of quiet, steady improvements that people notice after 2 or 3 weeks and then wonder how they went without before. The brain connection is worth a moment, too. A study from nitric oxide, biology and chemistry specifically looked at cerebral blood flow in older adults after dietary nitrate supplementation. They found measurable improvements in frontal lobe blood flow, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and short-term memory. That's not a minor finding. That's a study saying that something as accessible as beet-enhanced water may be improving how well your brain works. Not in a vague, aspirational way, in a measurable, scan it on an MRI way. This would not be complete without a short reality check, because some everyday habits directly undo everything that better hydration is trying to accomplish. Mouthwash. Yes, the kind you probably use after brushing. Most commercial antibacterial mouthwashes kill the oral bacteria responsible for converting dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. A study in Free Radical Biology and Medicine found that using antibacterial mouthwash twice daily reduced nitric oxide availability in the blood by around 25% within just a few days. That's significant. The bacteria in your mouth aren't an inconvenience. They're a key step in your body's nitric oxide production chain. If you're serious about blood flow, consider switching to a fluoride rinse that isn't antibacterial, or skipping the rinse entirely after your beet water. Caffeine timing also matters. Coffee consumed within 30 minutes of your morning beet water blunts the absorption slightly. Not catastrophically, but enough that spacing them out by 30 to 45 minutes is worth the minor adjustment. And please, don't heat the beet water. Nitrates are sensitive to high temperatures and degrade significantly when boiled or microwaved. Cool or room temperature water preserves the compounds properly. Here's the honest summary of everything covered today. After 50, your body faces a real and measurable decline in nitric oxide, a rise in blood viscosity, and a weakened ability to retain the minerals that keep your circulation working well. Plain water, while essential, doesn't address any of these three factors on its own. But adding beetroot and a trace of mineral salt to your daily water routine directly targets all three. It gives your body the raw materials to produce more nitric oxide, it supports proper cellular hydration, and it restores the minerals that most filtered water strips away. This is not a miracle. It's not a hack. It's physiology. Your body doing exactly what it was designed to do, just given the right inputs. The research supports it. The mechanism is clear. And the barrier to trying it is almost nothing. Start tomorrow morning. 1 tablespoon of unsweetened beetroot juice, 1 small pinch of mineral salt, 8 to 12 ounces of water, sipped slowly. Give it 3 weeks before you judge it. Your arteries have been quietly asking for this for years. Now, before you close this video, I need to tell you something important. Because if improving your blood flow is something you're serious about, what you just learned today is only half the picture. There is one specific food that most people over 50 are eating almost every single day. Not a junk food, not something obviously bad, that is quietly stiffening your arteries from the inside and undoing everything healthy hydration is trying to fix. Most cardiologists don't bring it up at routine checkups. Most nutritional guides don't flag it. But the research on it is striking, and once you know what it is, you will look at your meals differently. That video is queued up for you right now on your screen. It's called the #1 artery stiffening food after 50. Most seniors eat this daily without knowing. Watch it next, because taking care of your blood flow from both ends, what you drink and what you eat, is where the real results start showing up.